Overthinking is like a silent thief, quietly robbing you of your peace and creating chaos in your mind. It's all too easy to become ensnared in a storm of thoughts where you ruminate over what has been, worry about what's to come, or analyze every aspect of the present. This incessant mental chatter can be exhausting, leaving you feeling anxious and disconnected from the here and now. If you're looking to escape this overwhelming sense of mental clutter and regain your inner calm, you've come to the right place. Buddhism offers profound and practical wisdom that can help you break free from the relentless cycle of overthinking. In this video, we'll explore 6 transformative Buddhist teachings that can bring clarity and serenity to your life despite its complexities. From mindfulness practices that anchor you in the present to lessons on non-attachment that free your spirit, these teachings are more than philosophical ideals. They are practical tools that can reshape your mind and lead you towards peace. Let's journey through these teachings together and discover how to quiet the noise, gain clarity, and cultivate a sense of lasting peace. Remember, overthinking doesn't have to be a defining feature of your life. Freedom is closer than you think. One essential teaching is that the past has passed and the future is yet to come. Our only reality is the present moment. How often do we find ourselves haunted by past regrets or held captive by future anxieties, losing sight of the here and now? These mental traps can easily rob us of our peace and clarity, but the truth remains, the only moment we truly have is now. The Buddha himself said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." By releasing our grip on regrets and worries, we can focus our energies on the present, the only time that truly exists. This simple yet powerful realization helps us to fully experience life as it unfolds, free from the burdens of the past and the uncertainties of the future. Consider implementing mindfulness into your daily routine. It's a practical way to cultivate present moment awareness, allowing you to observe your thoughts and surroundings without getting entangled in them. Each breath is an opportunity to ground yourself in the present, reducing overthinking and enhancing your sense of peace. Let me share a poignant Buddhist story to illustrate the power of this practice. A monk and his disciple were traveling and came upon a rushing river. The monk crossed calmly, but his disciple froze, overwhelmed by fears of what might go wrong. Seeing this, the monk advised, "The river is always flowing, but the only way to cross it is to be present and trust in the moment." This lesson highlights that living in the present allows us to face life's challenges with grace and clarity, rather than being held back by unnecessary fears and mental clutter. By embracing these Buddhist principles and practicing mindfulness, you can begin to lighten your mental load and navigate life's rivers with confidence and peace. Let go of the past, set aside worries for the future, and live fully in the moment. This is the path to true freedom from overthinking. This dual burden robs us of our ability to engage with the present, which is the only time we have any real power to act, change, and grow. Buddha's teachings invite us to see the present not just as a fleeting moment, but as the doorway to peace. By fully inhabiting the now, we start to appreciate life's simpler pleasures. The warmth of the sun on our skin, the melody of birds chirping, the rhythm of our breath. These moments, often overlooked in our rush through life, are the foundations of true happiness. Practicing mindfulness helps us cultivate this presence. Start by taking a few moments each day to sit quietly and focus on your breathing. Feel the air as it enters and exits your body. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently guide your focus back to your breath. This simple practice helps train your mind to stay anchored in the present, reducing overthinking and enhancing your peace of mind. Another transformative teaching is the concept of non-attachment. Overthinking often stems from our desire to control outcomes or cling to specific expectations. We fear loss, failure, or uncertainty, leading us to overanalyze every possibility. However, practicing non-attachment teaches us to let go of these fears and trust the flow of life. This doesn't mean we become indifferent. It means we stop grasping and accept things as they are, taking inspired actions without being fixated on the outcomes. Consider it like using a GPS while driving. Rather than questioning every turn and worrying about potential traffic, trust the directions and focus on the journey. This mindset allows you to enjoy the drive and reach your destination with less stress. Incorporating gratitude into your daily life can also enhance your ability to stay present. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we possess, reminding us that even in difficult times, there are always blessings to appreciate. This shift in perspective reduces overthinking and helps us connect more deeply with the present. As Buddha wisely pointed out, the trouble is you think you have time. This powerful reminder urges us to embrace the present, recognizing the fleeting nature of life. By focusing on the now, we honor life's preciousness and make the most of each moment. Let's revisit the river analogy from earlier. Life, like a river, flows continuously. You cannot control the current or hold on to the water, but you can choose how to step into it. Will you let fear and overthinking keep you on the shore, or will you trust in the moment and move forward with peace and clarity? The choice is yours. Embrace the present, and you'll find profound serenity in letting go of the past and future. Furthermore, thoughts are like clouds. They can overwhelm the sky with their presence, but are essentially transient and fleeting. Buddha taught us, with our thoughts, we make the world. This highlights the impact our thoughts have on our reality, but also reminds us to approach them with mindfulness and detachment. Like clouds, our thoughts come and go without altering the sky itself. They do not define us. By viewing them as temporary events rather than permanent truths, we can liberate ourselves from their grip. Just as you might watch leaves floating down a river without feeling compelled to catch them, you can observe your thoughts without attachment, letting them pass with ease. This is indeed how we should approach our thoughts. Rather than getting entangled in every fleeting idea, worry, or memory, we have the ability to let them pass through our awareness, just as leaves drift down a river. This simple yet transformative practice can significantly reduce the grip of overthinking on our lives. Buddha frequently used natural metaphors to convey profound truths, and the analogy of clouds in the sky perfectly encapsulates the impermanence of our thoughts. Even on a cloudy day, which may seem unending, the clouds will eventually disperse to reveal the vast, clear sky beyond. In the same way, when we release our grip on our thoughts, we uncover the tranquil, open expanse within ourselves, the unchanging essence that exists beyond the fluctuations of our mental landscape. Overthinking often becomes burdensome because we tend to attach too much meaning and importance to every thought that arises. A fleeting worry can easily spiral into a full-blown narrative of fear and anxiety if we cling to it. However, embracing non-attachment allows us to break this cycle. Practicing non-attachment does not mean ignoring or suppressing our thoughts. It means observing them without judgment and letting them pass without resistance. This approach creates more space in our minds, allowing room for peace and clarity. Buddhism teaches us that thoughts are not inherently good or bad. They are merely mental formations that come and go. When we cease to label them as positive or negative, we can begin to see them as they truly are, transient and insubstantial. This realization is freeing because it alters our relationship with our minds. Instead of fighting our thoughts or attempting to control them, we learn to coexist with them peacefully. Buddha's teaching, "Our life is shaped by our mind, for we become what we think," underscores the importance of maintaining a healthy relationship with our thoughts. If we are consumed by negativity or excessive thinking, our lives can become filled with stress, dissatisfaction, and chaos. Conversely, if we cultivate an ability to let go of these thoughts and focus on clarity and mindfulness, we set the stage for a life characterized by peace and fulfillment. Mindfulness meditation, a fundamental aspect of Buddhist practice, involves focusing on the present moment, typically by observing our breath or bodily sensations. Even though thoughts will inevitably arise during meditation, we don't need to engage with them. Instead, we simply acknowledge their existence and gently redirect our attention back to our breathing. Over time, this practice helps train our mind to discard unnecessary mental clutter and remain anchored in the present. To further illustrate this concept, let's consider the river analogy once more. At times, the river's surface may be serene and the water flows smoothly. At other times, it may become turbulent, with debris muddying the waters. Regardless of these changes, the river continues to flow. Our minds work in a similar manner. When we avoid grasping at every fleeting thought, we allow the natural flow of the mind to continue without our interference. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of developing compassion towards ourselves as we navigate our mental patterns. It's common to feel frustrated by our inability to curb overthinking, but nurturing self-compassion is vital. Understand that the mind's tendency to wander is normal. It's merely operating as it has been conditioned to do. Rather than berating yourself for a cluttered mind, gently steer your focus back to the present. This approach of kindness towards oneself helps break the cycle of self-criticism often associated with overthinking. Gratitude is another powerful practice tied to managing our thoughts. By shifting our focus from what's missing to the abundance we already possess, gratitude redirects our energy from overthinking to appreciation. This shift not only declutters the mind, but also enhances our overall contentment and joy. Overthinking often arises from a desire to control the uncontrollable, leading us to analyze, predict, and plan extensively in hopes of securing certainty in an uncertain world. However, no amount of thinking can fully mitigate the inherent unpredictability of life. Buddha's teachings encourage us to accept impermanence and relinquish our grip on control. Embracing change as a natural and inevitable part of life can significantly reduce the mental strain caused by overthinking. Incorporating mindfulness into everyday life is a practical way to combat overthinking. This doesn't necessitate lengthy meditation sessions. Even brief instances of mindfulness, like taking a moment to breathe deeply, feeling the sensations in your body, or simply observing your surroundings, can have a profound impact. These small acts of presence help anchor you in the here and now, curtailing the tendency to spiral into excessive thought. As you engage more deeply with mindfulness, it's important to recognize that progress is not always linear. Some days your mind may be tranquil and focused, while on others it may seem restless and chaotic. Both are natural aspects of the journey. The key is to approach each day with curiosity and openness, trusting that every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to inner peace. Buddha's analogy of thoughts as clouds offers a valuable lesson. We are not our thoughts. When you find yourself overwhelmed by overthinking, picture yourself lying on the grass, watching the clouds drift by. They change shape and eventually disappear, much like our thoughts. This visualization can help you detach from mental turmoil and reconnect with the calm, spacious awareness that underlies it all. Ultimately, the path to a clearer and more peaceful mindset begins with a single decision: to observe your thoughts without becoming attached. Allow them to pass like clouds in the sky, releasing their hold on you. As overthinking diminishes, clarity and serenity naturally emerge. Life, like the river in our analogy, continues to flow. Will you choose to flow with it, embracing the currents of life, or resist and struggle against the tide? Opting to let go opens the door to peace and freedom, aligning you with the vast, unchanging expanse of your awareness, where no amount of passing clouds can truly obscure the sky. Remember, overthinking breeds suffering. Let go of what you cannot control, and you will find that the more we release, the less we suffer. In a world that often prizes thinking as a hallmark of problem-solving and intelligence, it might indeed seem counterintuitive to suggest that overthinking is detrimental. Yet, overthinking transcends practical reasoning, becoming a trap that ensnares us in endless loops of worry, doubt, and analysis. This relentless mental cycling leads us to predict every conceivable outcome, obsess over worst-case scenarios, and cling tightly to things far beyond our control, inevitably resulting in increased stress and disconnection from the present. The Buddha offered profound insights into this human propensity, stating, "Suffering is not caused by the events in our lives, but by our reaction to them." This teaching underscores that our suffering stems not from the circumstances we encounter, but from our perceptions and responses to them. Events in themselves are often neutral. It is our reactions, colored by fear, attachment, and resistance, that transform these events into sources of pain. When we overthink and obsess over unchangeable aspects of life, we willingly invite unnecessary suffering. Embracing acceptance is crucial in curbing the tendency to overthink. By learning to accept what is, rather than resisting reality, we free ourselves from the burdensome cycle of mental struggle. This does not imply resignation or indifference. Rather, it involves releasing the illusion of control. Ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, then it is something to let go of. Surrendering the need to manage every outcome liberates our minds from incessant worry and makes room for peace and clarity. Thich Nhat Hanh, a revered Buddhist monk, illustrated this principle through a telling anecdote. He described a person straining to push a heavy boulder uphill, a futile effort that never yielded any movement. Observing this, Thich Nhat Hanh posed a simple yet transformative question. Why are you pushing a boulder that is not moving? His advice was equally profound. Let go, and the path will become clear. This metaphor powerfully depicts how we exhaust ourselves by resisting reality and overthinking situations we cannot alter. Letting go is not an act of weakness, but a potent form of empowerment, enabling us to redirect our energies toward more meaningful pursuits and to move forward with purpose and clarity. The drive for certainty often fuels overthinking. We convince ourselves that through sufficient analysis, we can predict and control outcomes. However, life's inherent uncertainty remains, and no amount of mental exertion can change that. Buddha's teachings encourage us to accept this uncertainty as a natural component of life's ebb and flow, inviting us to find peace within it. Mindfulness is a vital practice for easing the grip of overthinking. By focusing on the present and engaging fully with the moment, whether through observing our surroundings, feeling our breath, or noticing bodily sensations, we disrupt the habitual patterns of excessive contemplation. Mindfulness anchors us in the now, alleviating the mental tumult. Furthermore, cultivating self-compassion is essential, especially when overthinking stems from fear of failure, rejection, or making wrong choices. By treating ourselves with compassion, we recognize and accept these fears without judgment. This self-kindness fosters a safe space for us to move beyond our anxieties and reduce our need for control. Lastly, reframing challenges as opportunities for growth can transform our approach to difficulties. Instead of perceiving problems as threats, viewing them as chances to learn and evolve can diminish our propensity to overthink, allowing us to see these situations as integral parts of our personal growth journey. This shift in perspective can profoundly influence how we navigate life, reducing our mental burden and enhancing our overall resilience. This shift in mindset allows us to approach life with curiosity and openness rather than fear and resistance. The concept of non-attachment, central to Buddhist teachings, is another vital aspect of letting go. Non-attachment doesn't mean detachment or indifference. It means releasing our grip on outcomes and accepting things as they are. When we practice non-attachment, we free ourselves from the emotional roller coaster of success and failure. We learn to act with intention and effort while remaining at peace with whatever results may come. This balance of effort and surrender is the antidote to overthinking. Consider the analogy of holding sand in your hand. If you squeeze the sand tightly, trying to hold on to every grain, it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it gently with an open palm, the sand remains. Life is much the same. The tighter we cling, the more we struggle. When we learn to let go, we find that we can hold on to what matters most without unnecessary strain. It's also worth noting the role of gratitude in overcoming overthinking. When we focus on what we are grateful for, we shift our attention away from worries and toward the positive aspects of our lives. Gratitude reminds us of the abundance we already have, reducing the need to overanalyze and seek control. Each day, take a moment to reflect on something you're thankful for. This simple practice can bring perspective and peace. Finally, remember that letting go is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice. Life will continually present us with challenges, uncertainties, and situations beyond our control. Each moment offers an opportunity to choose how we respond. Will we resist and overthink, or will we accept and let go? The choice is ours. As the Buddha taught, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain is a natural part of life, but suffering arises from our resistance to pain and our attachment to control. By learning to let go, we reduce our suffering and open ourselves to a life of greater peace and freedom. So take a deep breath. Imagine the boulder you've been pushing uphill, the worries, fears, and overanalyzed scenarios. Now picture yourself letting go of that boulder. Feel the weight lift from your shoulders. The path ahead is clear, not because you've forced it to be, but because you've stopped resisting. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about giving yourself the freedom to live fully in the present. Life is too precious to spend caught in the web of overthinking. Embrace the art of letting go, and you'll discover a profound sense of clarity and peace. The more you release, the more you'll realize how much lighter and freer life can be. Practice mindfulness. Anchor yourself in your breath to quiet the mind. Mindfulness is the practice of paying full attention to the present moment without judgment. It invites us to be fully aware of our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations while maintaining a sense of detachment. Instead of getting swept away by the whirlwind of our thoughts, mindfulness teaches us to observe them as they arise and let them pass like leaves floating down a stream. This practice is both simple and profound, offering a way to calm the mind and bring clarity to our lives. One of the simplest and most accessible ways to practice mindfulness is by focusing on your breath. The breath is a constant in our lives, always present and available as an anchor to the here and now. When you feel overwhelmed by mind is calm, the breath is calm. This simple yet profound statement reflects the deep connection between the state of our mind and the rhythm of our breath. When we are anxious or stressed, our breath becomes shallow and rapid, mirroring the turmoil within. Conversely, When we intentionally slow and deepen our breath, our mind begins to follow, settling into a state of peace. By anchoring ourselves in the breath, we can stop the cycle of overthinking and create a sense of inner stillness. The power of mindfulness lies in its ability to shift our attention away from the endless stream of thoughts that often consume us. Overthinking is like a storm in the mind, a constant barrage of what-ifs, should-haves, and what will happen. This mental storm not only drains our energy, but also disconnects us from the present moment, the only time in which we can truly live. Through mindfulness, we learn to step out of this storm and observe it from a place of calm awareness. We see our thoughts for what they are, passing phenomena, not permanent truths. The Buddha's teaching, the mind is everything. What you think, you become, underscores the transformative power of our thoughts. When we allow overthinking to dominate, we shape a life of stress, worry, and discontent. However, when we practice mindfulness and focus on the breath, we train our minds to stay calm, present, and focused. Over time, this practice rewires our mental patterns, reducing the hold that overthinking has on us and opening the door to greater peace and clarity. Practicing mindfulness is not about eliminating thoughts or suppressing emotions. Instead, it's about changing our relationship with them. Imagine your thoughts as clouds passing through the sky. They may be dark and heavy at times, but they are always moving. The sky itself, vast, open, and unchanging, represents your true nature. Through mindfulness, you learn to identify more with the sky than with the clouds, creating a sense of inner stability that is not shaken by the comings and goings of your thoughts. The breath plays a central role in this process because it is always present and neutral. No matter what is happening in your life, your breath is with you, offering a steady rhythm to anchor your awareness. When you feel overwhelmed, simply turning your attention to your breath can create a moment of pause, a break in the cycle of overthinking. This pause is powerful because it gives you the space to respond to life's challenges with intention rather than react out of habit. One of the most effective mindfulness exercises is the 3-breath practice. This practice can be done anytime, anywhere, and takes only a few moments. First, take a deep breath in and exhale slowly, bringing your attention fully to the sensation of the breath. For the second breath, focus on releasing any tension you're holding in your body, letting it melt away as you exhale. With the third breath, set an intention to stay present and grounded in the moment. This simple practice can help you regain clarity and calm, even in the midst of a busy or stressful day. Mindfulness is not limited to sitting meditation or breath-focused exercises. It can be woven into every aspect of daily life. For example, you can practice mindfulness while eating by paying attention to the texture, taste, and aroma of your food. Instead of rushing through meals or multitasking, take time to savor each bite. Similarly, mindfulness can be practiced while walking by noticing the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your steps, and the environment around you. These small moments of presence add up, creating a more mindful and intentional way of living. Another key aspect of mindfulness is cultivating a non-judgmental attitude toward yourself. Overthinking is frequently propelled by self-criticism and perfectionism, where we berate ourselves for mistakes, unmet expectations, or not having all the answers. Mindfulness teaches us to approach these challenges with kindness and compassion towards ourselves. Rather than chastising yourself for overthinking, recognize it as a natural tendency of the mind. Gently redirect your focus back to the present moment. This practice of self-compassion can be transformative, helping you to escape the cycle of self-judgment and fostering a greater sense of inner peace. Remember, mindfulness is a continuous practice, not a final goal to be achieved. It requires patience and consistent effort. Some days, your mind may be calm and focused, while on others, it may feel scattered and unruly. Both states are integral to the journey. The key is to remain open and curious in each moment, without grasping for specific outcomes. Over time, mindfulness evolves from a mere practice to a fundamental aspect of your being. You'll start noticing subtle shifts in how you relate to your thoughts and emotions. Challenges that once triggered overthinking will lose much of their impact, and you'll respond with increased clarity and calmness. This transformation won't happen overnight, but with persistence, the effects of mindfulness will permeate all facets of your life. A profound realization from practicing mindfulness is understanding that you are not your thoughts. While thoughts come and go, they do not define your essence. By anchoring yourself in the present moment and your breath, you create a space that distinguishes you from your thoughts. In this space lies freedom and empowerment. You become not a prisoner of your own mind, but an observer who can choose how to react. Though the practice of mindfulness may seem simple, it encapsulates deep wisdom. It reveals that peace is not a distant goal to be achieved through external means, but is accessible in the here and now, within each breath. So whenever you find yourself overwhelmed by thoughts, recall the Buddha's guidance. When the mind is calm, the breath is calm. Take a deep breath, hold it briefly, and exhale slowly. Allow each breath to anchor you back to the present, where peace and clarity naturally reside. The more you engage in this practice, the more you will realize that the ability to quiet your mind has always been within you. Lastly, consider the principle that simplicity is freedom. In a world teeming with distractions, it's easy to complicate our lives with endless worries about work, relationships, appearances, and future uncertainties. The incessant demands of modern life can make us feel as though we are perpetually chasing after an elusive sense of happiness and fulfillment. Yet, Buddhism teaches us a vital lesson. Simplicity is the key to true happiness and peace. By simplifying our lives, we shed the weight of unnecessary concerns. This process of letting go isn't about denying life's complexities, but about choosing not to let them dominate us. By embracing simplicity, we find a path to genuine contentment and tranquility, free from the clutter of overthinking. The Buddha's profound words in the Dhammapada, "There is no path to happiness, happiness is the path," eloquently capture the essence of simplicity in the pursuit of contentment. This perspective shifts our focus from chasing happiness as a distant goal to recognizing it in the present, within the small, often overlooked moments of everyday life. By embracing simplicity, we begin to discern what truly matters, stripping away the superficial concerns over material possessions, social status, or external approval that frequently consume our thoughts. Simplifying our lives is not about renouncing ambitions or shirking responsibilities. It's about prioritizing what genuinely aligns with our values and fosters inner peace. Buddhist teachings, especially through the practice of mindfulness, guide us in this journey. Mindfulness anchors us in the present, enabling us to experience life's simple joys: the warmth of sunlight, the rustle of leaves, the flavors of a meal, without the distraction of relentless overthinking. Such moments, though simple, are the very fabric of true happiness. Shibumi, a Zen principle, further illuminates the beauty and depth found in simplicity. It is not merely about aesthetic minimalism, but about discovering significant meaning in the understated aspects of life. Zen masters, through their disciplined lives focused on essentials, epitomize this principle, demonstrating how a simpler life can lead to a more profound existence. Consider the analogy of a cluttered room. A space overrun with items can feel chaotic and restrictive. However, When it is decluttered, it becomes a place of calm and order. The same principle applies to our minds. By clearing away mental clutter, such as unnecessary worries, critical judgments, and excessive attachments, we make room for clarity, peace, and joy. Embracing the art of letting go is crucial in simplifying our lives. This means releasing things that no longer serve us, whether they are toxic relationships, unrealistic expectations, or obsessive control over every life detail. It might also mean decluttering our physical spaces, minimizing digital distractions, or streamlining our daily routines. Letting go of excess allows us to focus on what truly nourishes our spirit. Non-attachment, a central concept in Buddhism, complements the practice of simplicity. It does not imply a lack of care or indifference, but of freedom from clinging. When we cling to possessions, desired outcomes, or rigid life scripts, we generate suffering. Practicing non-attachment helps us enjoy life's offerings without relying on them for our happiness, promoting a lighter, more liberated existence. Gratitude also plays a pivotal role in simplifying our lives. By cultivating gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we possess. This change in perspective encourages us to find contentment in the present, appreciating life's simple pleasures, a comforting cup of tea, a sincere conversation, a moment of quiet reflection. These experiences, though modest, can yield immense joy when approached with thankfulness. In today's fast-paced, consumption-driven world, the call to simplicity is more relevant than ever. We are constantly bombarded with messages that more is better, more gadgets, more accolades, more experiences. However, this incessant pursuit often leads to dissatisfaction and emptiness. Buddha's teachings counteract this cultural narrative by emphasizing that true happiness stems from letting go rather than acquiring. Simplicity offers a potent antidote to the culture of excess, reconnecting us with what is genuinely meaningful. By reducing life's complexities, we also diminish the propensity to overthink. Managing fewer priorities and simplifying our approach can significantly alleviate the mental burden of trying to keep up with an endlessly demanding world. In essence, by choosing simplicity, we choose a path of greater peace, fulfillment, and genuine happiness. By simplifying our commitments and focusing on what truly matters, we free our minds from the chaos of overthinking. This doesn't mean we avoid challenges or responsibilities. It means we approach them with clarity and purpose without being overwhelmed by distractions. Simplicity doesn't have to be dramatic or extreme. It can begin with small, intentional steps. Start by identifying one area of your life where you feel overwhelmed. Is it your schedule, your relationships, or your physical space? Take a moment to reflect on what you can simplify. Perhaps it's saying no to commitments that don't align with your values, clearing out belongings you no longer use, or setting aside time each day to unplug from technology. These small changes can have a ripple effect, bringing greater peace and balance to your life. The journey towards simplicity is deeply personal. What feels simple and peaceful for one person may not be the same for another. The key is to find what works for you and to approach the process with mindfulness and self-compassion. Simplicity is not about perfection. It's about creating a life that feels meaningful and aligned with your true self. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha also teaches that a disciplined mind brings happiness. Simplifying our lives helps us cultivate this discipline, creating space for mindfulness, gratitude, and peace. It's not about depriving ourselves, but about making conscious choices that nurture our well-being. By letting go of what doesn't matter, we make room for what does. So how can we embrace the beauty of simplicity in our daily lives? Begin by asking yourself these questions. What truly matters to me? What can I let go of to create more space for peace and joy? How can I simplify my thoughts, actions, and environment to align with my values? Reflecting on these questions can guide you toward a life of greater clarity and purpose. As you simplify, you may find that life feels lighter, more meaningful, and less overwhelming. The distractions and worries that once consumed you begin to fade, replaced by a sense of calm and contentment. You start to see the beauty in the small, simple moments, the kind that were always there, but were hidden beneath the noise of overthinking and excess. The path to simplicity is not about changing the world around you, but about transforming the way you see and interact with it. When you let go of the unnecessary and focus on the essentials, you'll discover that happiness and peace were within you all along. As the Zen master said, "The simpler the life, the more profound the meaning." Embrace simplicity, and you'll find a life rich with depth, clarity, and joy. 6. Trust in impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever, not even your struggles. This simple yet profound truth lies at the heart of the Buddhist teaching on impermanence, known as anicca in Pali. The concept of impermanence reminds us that everything in life is in a constant state of flux. Everything we encounter, our thoughts, emotions, situations, and even the physical world, is ever-changing. This means that even your overthinking, fears, and anxieties are not permanent. They too will pass. The Buddha beautifully encapsulated this teaching when he said, "All conditioned things are impermanent. Strive on with diligence." This wisdom encourages us to embrace the transient nature of life and find solace in the fact that no struggle or hardship is eternal. The very nature of existence is change, and with that comes the certainty that whatever challenges we face today will eventually transform into something new. Overthinking often arises from a fear of permanence. When we're stuck in difficult situations, it can feel as though we'll be trapped in that discomfort forever. Our minds spiral into worry, trying to analyze and predict every possible outcome, fueled by the belief that the current struggle is unending. But this is an illusion. Understanding that both the joys and challenges of life are impermanent encourages us to fully engage with the present, appreciating the good times while knowing they too will pass, and enduring the hard times with the knowledge that they are not eternal. This balanced perspective can profoundly enhance our ability to navigate life's fluctuations with grace and resilience. When we truly grasp the impermanence of all things, it shifts how we experience life. We become more present, more aware of the fleeting nature of each moment, and more appreciative of the now. This awareness helps to dissolve the layers of fear and anxiety associated with change and the unknown. It teaches us to cherish the good moments without clinging to them, and to face challenges with a calm understanding that they will not last forever. Mindfulness, as a practice, is instrumental in cultivating this understanding. By focusing on the present and observing our immediate experiences without attachment or aversion, we get a clearer sense of life's inherent transience. Every breath we take exemplifies impermanence. Each inhale and exhale is a cycle of coming and going, just like the thoughts and emotions that rise and fall in our minds. By paying attention to this constant flow, we can see the temporary nature of all experiences and conditions. The natural world, with its cycles and seasons, serves as a perfect metaphor for this concept. Just as the harshness of winter eventually gives way to the rebirth of spring, so too can our difficult times transition into periods of growth and renewal. Observing these natural cycles can reinforce our understanding of change and help us to internalize the truth that nothing is static. This recognition can be a source of great comfort and strength, especially when we find ourselves overwhelmed by personal challenges. Similarly, thinking of our mental and emotional states as storms, intense and sometimes frightening but invariably passing, can provide a powerful framework for dealing with distress. When caught in a storm, it's natural to worry that the sun may never shine again. However, just as the weather clears after a storm, so too do our minds eventually return to calmness. Acknowledging this can reduce the panic and urgency that often accompanies difficult periods, allowing us to maintain a clearer head and a more balanced emotional state. This understanding of impermanence also influences how we handle joy and happiness. By recognizing that these two are fleeting, we can appreciate them more deeply without the pressure of trying to hold on to them indefinitely. This prevents us from taking good times for granted and helps us stay more emotionally balanced when circumstances change, as they inevitably will. The wisdom of impermanence teaches us to embrace life's transient nature, to let go of our illusions of control, and to live with openness and adaptability. It encourages us to respond to life's inevitable changes, not with fear, but with curiosity and openness, embracing the unknown with a sense of peace and possibility. In doing so, we find that life's impermanent nature isn't a cause for sorrow, but rather a call to live more fully, with a greater appreciation for every fleeting moment. Embracing simplicity helps us prioritize our commitments, streamline our routines, and reduce the noise that often overwhelms our thoughts. By focusing on essential values and activities, we free up mental space and energy, allowing for a deeper connection with the present and a clearer path towards our goals. This doesn't mean shedding all responsibilities or ambitions. Rather, it involves choosing them more consciously, ensuring they align with our deeper desires and life's purpose. The principle of impermanence teaches us to accept the constant flow of life with grace. Recognizing that everything is subject to change helps us maintain a healthy detachment from specific outcomes. This understanding allows us to experience life more fully, appreciating the good times without clinging to them, and enduring the bad times with the knowledge that they, too, will pass. It instills a sense of resilience and encourages a proactive attitude towards life's challenges, emphasizing effort and persistence, while also acknowledging the natural cycles of rise and fall. To start integrating these teachings into your daily life, consider the following practical steps. 1. Embrace the present. Make a conscious effort to stay grounded in the present moment. Practice mindfulness through meditation, deep breathing, or simply being aware of your sensory experiences, what you see, hear, smell, and feel. This helps pull your mind away from overthinking and back to what is happening right now. 2. Let go of control. Reflect on the areas of your life where you may be seeking excessive control. Recognize which aspects you can actually influence and which are beyond your control. By focusing on your immediate actions and attitudes rather than the uncontrollable outcomes, you can reduce anxiety and overthinking. 3. Simplify your commitments. Take stock of your daily activities and responsibilities. Identify which ones are truly essential and which ones can be minimized or eliminated. This might mean decluttering your physical space, saying no to non-essential tasks, or simplifying your social engagements to preserve energy for more meaningful interactions. 4. Cultivate gratitude and appreciation. Keeping a gratitude journal or regularly reflecting on things you are thankful for can shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. This fosters a positive mindset and reduces the impulse to overthink, enhancing your overall well-being. 5. Acknowledge change as the only constant. Regularly remind yourself of the impermanence of life situations. When facing difficulties, remember that these are not permanent states. When enjoying good moments, cherish them without trying to hold on too tightly. 6. Respond with adaptability. Develop flexibility in your thoughts and actions. Being adaptable in the face of life's constant changes reduces the stress that comes from resisting the inevitable. This adaptability allows you to respond to any situation with confidence and ease, knowing that you can handle the transitions. 7. Regular mindfulness practice. Establish a routine that includes mindfulness practices such as meditation, mindful walking, or other activities that encourage a focus on the present. These practices strengthen your ability to concentrate and stay grounded, reducing the frequency and intensity of overthinking. By integrating these teachings and practices into your daily life, you not only lessen the impact of overthinking, but also enhance your capacity for joy, contentment, and peace. Over time, you'll find that your mind becomes a more tranquil and controlled environment, where clarity replaces confusion and peace supplants anxiety. Embracing these principles from Buddhism not only helps mitigate the habitual patterns of overthinking, but also leads to a more mindful, fulfilling, and serene life. This powerful message encapsulates essential Buddhist teachings on how to navigate life's complexities with a sense of peace and purpose. By understanding and applying the concepts of mindfulness, simplicity, and impermanence, we can significantly reduce overthinking and increase our overall well-being. Mindfulness helps us anchor ourselves in the present moment, training our minds to focus on the here and now rather than getting lost in worries about the past or future. This practice fosters a deep appreciation for the current moment, enhancing our ability to enjoy life's simple pleasures and endure its inevitable challenges with composure. Simplicity, as highlighted by the Zen principle of Shibumi, guides us to eliminate unnecessary clutter from our lives, whether physical, emotional, or mental. This not only frees up space, but also reduces stress and distractions, allowing us to live more intentionally and meaningfully. A simpler life, stripped of non-essential burdens, opens up opportunities for deeper reflection and greater clarity. Impermanence, or anicca, teaches us to embrace the transient nature of life. Recognizing that nothing is permanent, whether joy or sorrow, helps us maintain emotional balance during fluctuations. It encourages us not to cling too tightly to current states or worry excessively about the future, but to flow with the changes, trusting that new opportunities and solutions will arise as circumstances evolve. By integrating these principles into our daily routines, we can cultivate a mindset that appreciates the present, minimizes stress from unnecessary complexities, and embraces change with resilience. This approach doesn't just alleviate overthinking, it enriches our lives, providing a pathway to genuine peace and contentment. For anyone seeking to quiet their mind and enhance their well-being, adopting these teachings can be transformative. As we continue to explore and practice these principles, we build a foundation for a more mindful, simplified, and adaptable way of living that can lead to profound personal growth and happiness. Remember, each step on this path enriches our journey, bringing us closer to a state of serenity that is not dependent on external conditions, but cultivated from within. Let's embrace this journey together, supporting one another in fostering a community that values and practices these life-enhancing teachings.